think we're looking a little bit more Christmassy now, aren't we, guys? What do you reckon? Or am I looking ridiculous? I think I'm looking ridiculous, aren't I? Dime qué es lo que esperas. Dime qué quieres ver. Hi everyone, welcome back. Now then, beautiful ones, in today's tutorial we're going to be having a very close look at these, which are the Makeup Academy Shimmer Highlight Powders, and I've got two of these. I've got this one in shade Pearlescent Sheen, and this one is slightly warmer, slightly better for warm skin tones, so those with yellow skin tones, although anyone could use these. This is in shade Peach Diamond, and can you see they're very, very, very reflective, and they've got like a almost like an undertone or a reflection running throughout. And this one's got a very, very slight purplish, greeny sort of purplish vein running throughout it, if you like. And this one's got almost like a sort of like a rosy sort of colour. So we'll be trying these today. If that sounds like something you guys want to watch, stay tuned. Before we dive in today, guys, I'm sure many of you out there are wondering, why is this man spending so much time on foundations, skin, etc, etc, etc. What I'm trying to do, guys, is to build up a library of videos so that, do you know what I mean? You can just go onto the channel and I'll create playlists as well. So all you need to do is just say you want a powder foundation and you don't know which one to choose, or you want to try and make the powder foundation look better on your skin. There should be a video for that eventually. And I also think that spending as much time on skin and talking about skin and foundations and getting skin on point is the most important part of any look, because if you're spending hours and hours and hours on an eyeshadow look and your skin looks awful, it's still going to go out the window, isn't it, beautiful ones? So that's why I'm spending so long on foundations, skin looking amazing, because it is the canvas, isn't it, we'll be painting onto. Yeah, and one day soon, I promise you, beautiful ones, we'll start looking at eyeshadows, lipsticks, mascaras, blushes, and so on and so forth. But for now, we're going to be sticking with skin, because as I've just said, once your skin's looking perfect, then everything else will just fall into place. Talking about skin, guys, how's mine looking at the minute? Now, I'm about a week post-peel, and what I did was foolishly, very foolish of me indeed. I went for about a week of applying a very, very strong amount of salicylic acid peel, a DIY formulation, which I'll link up here or pop into the description. It is up there, isn't it? It's not that one, it's that one. Pretty sure it's up there, guys. Doesn't really matter, does it? Because it will be in the description anyway. Yeah, and I went for about 6 or 7 days of applying this really, really strong salicylic acid face peel onto my skin each night for about a week, just to blast it and to get rid of all of those, those really horrible dead skin cells and unclog as many pores as possible. And then on the 7th or 8th day, so immediately on the day after I'd finished with the salicylic acid face peel, I went in with a lactic acid face peel. Huge mistake, shouldn't have done that at all, guys, with hindsight, retrospect, and all of those beautiful things which we all know and to reflect with. Big mistake there, guys. I should have just left my skin well enough alone, because my skin then became red, inflamed, awful. I had red patches here. That there is from my glasses, because my glasses are a bit too small for my huge head. That is a remnant of all of my peeling, so that's really the only leftover or the only fallout from my peels. But what do you reckon? Does my skin look okay? I've just had a nice hot bath, and because we'll be looking at, I need to apply foundation to try the highlighters out, don't I? I shave my skin. I don't use primers, guys, and my skin is oily. Oily is a combination, a little bit drier in the winter, but what I think that I should do, beautiful ones, is to apply a layer of foundation, and I'll be using this one today, my Old Faithful, my ultimate. This is my my holy grail foundation. This is the Max Factor Facefinity Powder Compact. Although I always soak my brush or my sponge, because it helps to help the foundation bond with the skin, gives you a second sort of skin look. It gives skin a very, very second sort of skin sort of look with the soaked brush, and also by wetting our brush or sponge, whatever, you're eliminating all of that horrible powderiness, which sometimes or is inherent in every powder foundation. Shall I stop waffling and get this on my old face? Okay. So, beautiful ones, go and get your foundation brush and a little bowl full of water. Just dampen your brush. It doesn't have to be soaking wet at all, because I'm not making it. I just need to dab that off on a J cloth. I'm not making a paste today. All I'm doing is just dampening my foundation brush, just to, because the water, then you've heard me say that 1,000 times, haven't you? So what I'll do is I'll just get a thin layer, I think, today, and what I'll do then is apply one shade on one side of my face of the highlighter, the other one on the other, and we compare and contrast, shall we? Does that sound like a good idea? Why not? So I'll start in the center of my, and see if I can try and get rid of that zit on my nose, shall I? Start in the center of my face, and can you see the color match of this foundation is virtually identical to my own skin, isn't it? And that's covered that spot, hasn't it, basically? Could go in with a bit of concealer afterwards, couldn't we, guys? How are you all? You all okay, beautiful ones? I must remember you're there. Just keep looking at the viewfinder, please. Is that the viewfinder? Is that what it's called? I don't really know, guys. I'm not the most technical person. I'm not a Luddite, though. Do you know what I mean? Everything I've learned, I've taught myself or learned myself, and YouTube's been invaluable as well about how to create videos for YouTube tutorials and so on. But as I've just said, I'm a self-taught YouTuber. Whack some of that into the old beard. And the key behind this behind using a soap brush is just to give it time to let the water evaporate. And once it has evaporated, it should leave it like a veil of foundation behind, which looks very, very different than if it was just straight out of the compact. So that's less powdery, more natural, more second skin-like. The biggest piece of advice I can give you, beautiful ones, is when you're applying foundation, take your time, just work it in. Do you know what I mean? Pay attention to areas of concern. That's texture, enlarged pores, enlarged pores, so on and so forth. I mean, I think my skin looks okay now, doesn't it? And this foundation, it is amazing, and that's why it's my holy grail foundation. Around £15 in the UK. Oh, and I should have told you how much these were, shouldn't I? My new highlighting powder, so they're £3.50, so around $4.50 to $5 US. So that is a real steal, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? £7 for those two, and I think they're going to look pretty amazing because obviously I've been playing around with this one. I've gouged out great big gouge marks out of this. I don't think you're going to be able to see that, are you? There, you can see where I've been gouging at it, can't you? Scraping at it with my brush. And what I'll do now is, because and then once you've got your base sorted, just have a quick look at your skin and see if there are any areas. So I've got 1 spot, 2 spots and 3 spots which I need covering. So going with a very, very fine fine brush. I tend to use artist brushes. You don't actually have to wet it to do this with, although mine is slightly damp, and just paint it onto the spot. Let's do him and him. So beautiful. And should we start with the peach diamond? Why not? And it's got, as I said, it's got a very, very slight, it's not gold, it's somewhere between, I'd say it's more like a rose gold sort of shade. So let's open him up, and I might just apply a little bit on the back of my hand just to see. And I haven't used this one before. This is brand new. Can you see that? Very, very, what's the word? Opaque, I guess. Although not, wow, look at that shimmer. And can you see it has got a very, very slight pink tone to it? So you can't actually tell from the compact or the cassette itself that it has got quite a strong pink tone to it. It's very nice though. Right guys, so get your powder brush, and we'll just, this isn't a highlighter. I don't actually own a highlighter brush yet. I don't like them, you know, the fact that they're fanned, aren't they? I think there's something in their gimmicks, aren't they? So, and all you need to do is just pinch your powder brush and just dust him on, and I'll put on the high points of my cheeks, just to see how wow, look at that, beautiful ones. If you like the salmon skin sort of Dalek, Cyberman or Tin Man of the Wizard of Oz look, then this is definitely the one for you. I've come too far down here, haven't I? I should have stopped. Just as a guide, I mean, just look straight ahead, and where your pupil is, draw an imaginary line down, and that's in fact where you should stop. Although I've overzealously overshot them up entirely, haven't I? But it doesn't matter. It's just demonstration purposes, isn't it, beautiful one? That's fortuitous actually, because I was going to talk to you about how to fix mistakes when using something like a powder blush or a powder highlighter, beautiful ones. You can either just go and get yourself a J cloth, dampen, put your finger through it like so, and make a point, dip that in some water, and then just lightly rub off the areas where you've made your mistake. Or the only trouble with doing that method is the fact that you could disrupt the foundation underneath, especially if it's not a silicone based foundation which you've used with water, because it won't have bonded with the skin. And do you know what I mean? And you've spent hours and hours and hours perfecting your foundation. You've made a mistake with your highlighter or blusher, and using the J cloth could just wipe all of that away. So the best option is, or the next option I should say, another option, and just as simple, guys, is to go and get yourself a pressed powder, a powder brush, and just get a thin layer and just dust that, and that should neutralize any mistakes that you've made. And it will also dampen down. Say you've been really like me, you've gone completely mad with the old highlighter. It's Christmas though, guys, isn't it, soon? And we all want to be sparkly and bright and shimmering for Christmas, don't we? But you can just go over with the powder brush, and that should dampen that down to give you a more natural glow. Do you know what I mean? Should put some more on, why not? This is amazing, this stuff, isn't it? Very, 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 very sheeny, very shimmery. And right, I'm going to put some between my eyebrows. Just there. Don't know why. Just playing around with this stuff. Shall I put it all over my face? Why not? That way, I'm hoping what I was hoping to achieve by using this. In fact, when I saw these in the shop, I knew exactly what they would possibly do for my skin. Is to diffuse light away from trenches in your skin, so imperfections like pores, fine lines, and stuff like that. So and it has worked, isn't it, to a certain degree? Or it's making me look a little bit shiny. Again, if that happens, just go in with your pressed powder, dampen down the shine, and you'll be onto a winner there, beautiful ones. But should I come in for a bit of a close-up? Why not? And I just love the fact that these have almost like a duochrome effect to them, which duochrome means basically two colours in one. So this has got, use the right one. The peach diamond. The peach diamond has a very rose gold colour in the cassette, although once you put it on your face, it's got quite a strong sort of pinky tone, although it's got slightly green reflections to it as well. So these are amazing, amazing for £3.50. Do you know what I mean, guys? You just can't go wrong. So should we try some of this one? What's this one called? Diamond Sheen. I'll put that on this side. And this is the one that I got first of all, and this one I've been experimenting with. Just realised I'm running out of room on my face, aren't I, to highlight these or demonstrate these products. Well, I could put it there, couldn't I? So this is this is called Pearlescent Sheen, and this one's a pure white powder, baked powder, which means that basically it's been baked and poured into the pot, and then it hardens up as it dries. And can you see it's got a very slight bluey green reflection to it? I hope the camera picks it up, because this just looks phenomenal on the skin. Actually gives the skin almost like a violet sort of affair. But right, so again, establish the areas where you want the highlight. So here will be just underneath my eye and all the way up to my ear, but I'll start. So look ahead, draw the imaginary line down from your pupil downwards, and let's get a good layer of this one on, shall we? Got high hopes for this baby. Right, so again, create your fan. So that's like that, or easier said than done when you're using the wrong hand. And I'll just apply some of him onto there and brush downwards. Wow, I think these are incredible. I just think they're amazing. And what I like to do is just to bring the highlighter up here, because that will give the optical illusion of lifted skin too, and it also helps to bring areas forwards. Do you know what I mean? If you want an area which is receding naturally. So beautiful ones. On the left hand side, which will appear right to you, on the left hand side of my face we've got Peach Shimmer, and on the right hand side of my face, which will appear left, is the Pearlescent Sheen. So, or Sheen, S-H-E-E-N. So what do you reckon? They're very, very, very nice, aren't they? They just love. I think this side's slightly brighter than that side because I've obviously powdered this one down, but this one's a little bit too in your face for me. So what I'm going to do is just go in with a layer of and this is a powder foundation, although it's very, very sheer, and I just reviewed that yesterday actually, so I'll put that up there or into the description, and we'll just try and dampen that down a little bit, shall we? Because obviously I'm looking like a Belisha beacon at the minute, aren't I? I don't want to look like a Belisha beacon. I so don't. I mean, what's the benefits in looking like a Belisha beacon? What actually is a Belisha beacon? Does anyone know? Could you all let me know in the comments, please, if anyone can establish what the Belisha or a Belisha beacon is? I'd love to know. Right. Okay. Just dampen that down between the old eyebrows. Let's have a look at that now, shall we? Beautiful ones. Wine. Oh, you're there. Just keep looking at the people. Out of the two of them, beautiful ones, I think that the what's it called, Peach Shimmer, is much more natural. I mean, you can't actually see that when I smile. Can you see the glow it's given me? And the Max Factor foundation isn't glowing at all. So all of the reflection you can see and the brightness in the shimmer on my face now is from the Peach Shimmer. Peach Shimmer. Get it right. Can you see that area there? It's just, these are just phenomenal, guys. And by going in with the powder on top of the highlight, we've dampened it down and we've made it look more like skin, although healthy, glowing, fabulous skin. This side, I think I'm starting to resemble the belly of a trout, aren't I? Yeah, okay, I'm falling for these ones though, guys, big time. And once you've powdered down the highlighter to mute it slightly, then you can always go in with a little bit more in more targeted areas. So what I'll do, because I didn't put any on my nose, did I? And what I'd like to do is to put a little strip about there. So, and I don't like the fact that people put great big stripes or landing strips of highlighter from there right all the way down to the net. I think that looks awful. And also it doesn't look natural at all, does it, guys? And that's what I'm all about on the House of Joseph, is trying to look as naturally flawless as possible. So there's a good amount of him on. This is just a concealer brush, but should I stop moaning and get this on my face? Can you see how that's opened up my entire face now, guys? This stuff is amazing. I love it. Falling for this one big time. And by putting an area of light between eyebrows, so just imagine a triangle about from the middle of your forehead, starting the top point of the triangle, and then bring it down to your eyebrows. Just use that as your focused area, and that will help to lighten up your face too. As I've said before, using something like especially a holographic highlighter like these two are, it creates the illusion that you've got perfect skin. And also by applying it in targeted, thinking cleverly about where you know what I mean, areas which you want to bring forward. And targeting the highlighter in those areas will accomplish that objective. Yeah, objective, I guess is the word we're looking for, isn't it? Okay, yep. I think we're looking a little bit more Christmassy now, aren't we, guys? What do you reckon? Or am I looking ridiculous? I think I'm looking ridiculous, aren't I? Perfect looking skin is very much related, or what's the word, dependent on light. Lighting is so important when it comes to skin, and trying to produce or create the illusion of naturally flawless skin. We can trick people into thinking that our skin is utterly perfect, guys, when in fact it's probably not underneath. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, my chair's squeaking. It's not me blowing off or anything. I'm not too sure how many shades they do of my Makeup Artist Academy doing the shimmer powder. I think they did 3 or 4, something like that. Although we've established now that the diamond sheen is lovely on my skin, isn't it? I mean, that's on this side. It's got a very slight purpley, bluey, violet sort of reflection to it. Although the overall colour of this one is white, whereas the peach shimmer has basically disappeared into my skin. Although it has brought my skin to life, isn't it? It's brought my skin, it's given my skin a lit from within glow. Skin feels amazing. We went in with a layer of Max Factor Facefinity first though, didn't we? Used our soaked brush, and then we went in with the powder shimmers on top using a powder brush. You can use a highlighter brush if you want. There are no rules in makeup, are there, beautiful ones? Nope. And because this channel is this channel, and I am me, I'm an experimental makeup artist, beautiful ones, I won't leave it there. You know what I'm like, don't you guys? So tomorrow's tutorial will be wetting this, we're applying this as a paste to my entire face, trying different amounts of, do you know what I mean, ratios of water to the highlighter. And I'm also going to be trying mixing it with a silicone-based primer to give my skin like a veil of perfection, to see whether this one, or indeed any highlighter, we can mix them together to create some kind of a new product, basically, which will make us look perfect. So it's worth a try, isn't it, guys? I always think, why not? But guys, I firmly believe you don't have to go out there and spend a fortune on makeup, especially these days, because the formulations are so sophisticated. They're so good quality, such good quality as well. I mean, £3.50 for that one. It's just ridiculous. That's not even the price of a large Costa coffee. I think there's something like £3.99. So we're coming in 49 pence less. So that is £7 very well spent, I would say, in my opinion. What do you reckon? And just by thinking outside the box and thinking a little bit laterally, we can tailor our makeup or experiment and play around with it until we get to the results we want. So this would definitely rival Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Filter, so which costs something like £30 or £35, £3.50, so 100, no. Trying to do maths there, and math has never been my strong point, so roughly about 10 times less is what I was trying to say in my usual fumbling manner. Okay guys, if you enjoyed today's tutorial, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Similarly, consider subscribing and hit the notifications button to all, so you're notified each time I release new videos. All that remains is for me to wish you guys a beautiful Monday, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the next tutorial. Lots of love.